The women's basketball tournament has delivered time and time again, and with the names getting bigger and bigger and bigger, all those young ladies, Paige Beckers, Juju Watkins, Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark, they all delivered yesterday.
Yeah.
It was unbelievable theater. I was at the edge of my seat yesterday just watching both, like, getting chills from all the big shots these young ladies were making in the tournament game.
You know, I'm clearly biased. I admit this on the front end, okay? I've been to probably 50 women's high school basketball games in the last 2 years because of my niece. And, you know, watching the women's game, my appreciation has gone through the roof in the last decade from just coaching a lot of young girls that are playing ball, that are now getting into high school, that are going to the next level. And to watch that game yesterday, there was star power across the board. I mean, clearly Caitlin Clark is an intoxicating star when it comes to, like, she pops on the television.
Right. Polarizing.
I mean, she's incredible. And, like, we could talk about her for, but like, then I look at LSU, and LSU has stars everywhere. That young girl, I can't even pronounce her first name. She had like 6 blocks. She was unbelievable in terms of blocks. And then Angel Reese is clearly a dominant post player.
You're talking about Flau'jae Johnson.
Thank you, Flau'jae.
She's a rapper. I didn't Flau'jae's something special.
She had like 3 chase down blocks.
Flau'jae's nasty.
She was ridiculous.
Yeah.
And then Kim is one of the great villains in sports right now.
Mulkey.
And so feeling the energy pop through the television, I'm all about big games. Yeah. Like, I love big games. I don't even have to be that dialed in. If it's a big game, Bruce Mahoney, big game. You know, it's a high school local event. If it's a UFC 300 in 2 weeks, big game.
Turkey Day.
Turkey Day. No, I'm glad you said that. Like, Turkey Day. The Jungle Game, SI versus Sarah. Like, there are certain games that, to me, like, all right, I lean forward. You know, Monday Night Football, certain matchups still do it for me. You know, they just do. And since the Super Bowl, I think yesterday was one of the more entertaining games that I've seen in any sport across the board. No doubt about it. I was thoroughly entertained.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of a game since the Super Bowl that I was just jacked up about. That was just really, really good. And the Warriors, and we're getting to something Steiny said yesterday, because I think we were kind of alluding to it yesterday as well. In terms of our energy coming off a 4-1 road trip, I think Warrior fans are smart enough to know, and I know Warrior fans are smart enough to know, it's like, look, yeah, you do go 4-1 on the road trip, but you look at the teams that you beat, there wasn't a lot of sizzle, and from where the Warriors have come from over the last decade, how much is it really hitting them that they're battling for a play-in spot when they've been battling for finals appearances in championships for so many years? But that's something, but this whole tournament, like, it started even last weekend, and look, like you, I've been biased with women's sports because I covered it for a long time. I got to know these young ladies. Some of my favorite memories at City College of San Francisco is covering Brittany Allen and Marlee Rice and Monet Peoples and Shantae Taylor, Robin's daughter. Oh, yeah. That team was so fun to cover. I got the PA announced. I got to write articles about them. But even the high school teams here in the city, I covered a lot of SI girls basketball. I covered a lot of Sacred Heart girls basketball. Covered a lot of Lowell and Washington and Lincoln and Liberty and you name it. So I've always been a fan of the game because it takes a lot of skill.
Yeah.
Dominique, my niece, shout out to Leon out there who's been running around the bar scene, club scene for many, many years, working security. But his daughter's playing in Occidental, and they were in the tournament this year. They won their league championship. And watching Dominique grow and ball out, go to Liberty and now go to Occidental. The women's game, it takes a lot of skill, man. Ball handling, shooting, precision, nice passing, cutting, defensive communication, all that stuff. But to see it grow and grow and grow and grow and grow, and you got the legends involved in the game. The Don Staleys of the world. Tara Vanderveer still doing their thing. Gino Huriyama's going back to another Final Four, his 23rd Final Four. And the stars, now they're getting their love with the NIL deals, the Nike deals, the Adidas deals, and now they're popping off. The whole tournament, the women's tournament, starting last week at the Farm where Iowa State and Stanford are trading 3-point shots in overtime. It's been riveting stuff, Shaska. It really has.
Well, and I look at yesterday's game as a great example of the contrast of styles that I think we kind of grew to love. You have a dominant post player in Angel Reese who plays traditional. And I think a lot of us miss that style. Even though Jokic is in the league, he does different things than the traditional, back to the basket big. I mean, this guy can do anything on a basketball court. Right. But Angel Reese is a throwback. She's rugged. And that LSU team, I mean, they got a lot of players. I mean, a lot of players on that team. And then you watch the way Iowa plays and freedom of movement. And you have a point guard that's going to try to push the tempo. And it's got a showtimey feel to it because they play without the ball very well. They play in transition well. When they showed the stat, 42% of all Caitlin Clark's assists are in transition. I'm not surprised because her vision on the floor is unbelievable.
Yeah, I underrated
and the way
that.
she kicks it forward. I'm not even being hyperbolic. When I watch her, clearly there's an aura and a presence. I see a Larry Bird, Steph Curry hybrid type of a player where she can get to any spot on the floor that she wants, get into the lane. She can create for others. She can play off ball. She can play on ball. Clearly the shooting range is there. And then she has this screw you kind of toughness attitude to her. She's an excellent player.
No,
I mean, I love watching her be. I really do.
She's really good. I mean, look, I'm not going to compare her to the great ones there. I wanted her to get to the WNBA.
Giving her an aura, you know?
I hear you. No, I hear you. I underrated her court vision. I knew she could shoot the three very, very well, but her court vision in this tournament is just popped off the chain. No, she's about that life, and I do love the 10-minute quarters. I think the men's game didn't go to 10-minute quarters.
I'm with you.
That was the best thing I think to happen to women's college basketball.
I agree.
When they went to the quarter system, I was like, oh, this is legit. So you got her, and then Paige Beckers, who we've all forgotten about in the nightcap against Juju Watkins, and you had a little more slowed out game. It was more of a chess game, which I loved because it was a 3-point game going into the fourth quarter, and Paige Beckers getting buckets. Now you get Paige Beckers against Caitlin Clark in one side of the Final Four. You get Don Saley in undefeated South Carolina against NC State, who's rated threes over everybody. But Caitlin Clark, her aura, she's the real deal. And she's a good ambassador for this game, man. There's no doubt. And there's a lot of pressure on her to deliver against LSU, and she's been classy the entire time. Even last year when she lost in the national championship, and Angel Reese was talking and waving bye-bye, and Caitlin Clark said, it's all good. Trash talk is okay. I'm cool with Angel. Angel said the same thing. It's like, look, there's nothing personal.
It's called sports.
I
don't know why.
It's competition.
I have no problem with it, whatever. It is wild to me because we've had a lot of women stars. Like Maya Moore was a star. Diana Taurasi. These are stars.
Well, Breanna Stewart is a star.
Exactly.
Going to New York. Sabrina Ionescu.
Yes.
Ionescu, excuse me.
But now they have the platform to be able to perform.
Exactly.
And I think having it on a Monday night where it's kind of quiet time of the year, I mean, they fully took advantage of the window yesterday. And it was Rangers-Rays on one television, and I flipped over the second the game was about to start, and it was on ESPN. And I'm like, all right, here we go. And I had whatever the 2 or 3 hour window until the Giants game started. It was a perfect slot for them to get that game in. And I'm very intrigued to see if the entire country was intoxicated like I was. My wife was sitting there enjoying it with me.
I think the country was. I think the country looked forward to this. I mean, Bomani Jones kind of made the comp like this could be UNLV Duke from '91.
That's a good call.
That's how. And you know what?
That's a good call.
It was a bit poor Van Lith. The young point guard who transferred at Louisville. Kim Mulkey leaving her on the island against Caitlin Clark. Her defensive teams just sucked. Get Flau'jae on her. Double trap. Do whatever you got to do to get the ball on her hands.
Box and
Give
one.
her the Steph Curry treatment.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying?
Blitz her.
I'm not going to lie to you. The Giants and Dodgers, they were on my phone last night because I had to pay respect to Juju Watkins and Paige Beckers in UConn. And let me tell you, Juju Watkins is only a freshman.
She just broke the scoring record, basically.
She's so smooth.
It's pretty incredible.
I mean, she's so smooth. And she will learn from that loss. You could see the emotion after the game. She was crying at the podium.
I love USC's jerseys.
But the jerseys were just popping.
I'm a sucker.
Jerseys popped.
It's just,
the Southern Cal, the cursive.
As much as I don't like LA in general, the SoCal jerseys are pretty hard.
They're pretty sick. And then Paige Beckers just coming off screens, mid-range, three-pointers, floaters, going to the cup, just willing UConn to a victory up there in Portland, Oregon. I thought both games delivered on a now I know a lot of people probably a lot more people watch Angel Reese versus Caitlin Clark and Iowa versus LSU, but the USC-UConn game did not disappoint whatsoever. So I think women's basketball is in a great place, and hopefully that momentum carries over to the WNBA where the Las Vegas Aces, they've had some great series against the Seattle Storm. They've had some great series against the Liberty. So I'll be here to see what happens when we get this WNBA team out here, how that translates when you have a Stafford playing very, very well and you have the women's game growing.
Bunty, this is what the old college basketball for men's used to have was continuity. 2 years of rivalries
Yep.
creates an entire generation of fans. That's all you need.
Yep, that's all you need.
I mean, I think of Alabama versus Clemson. What did that do for Southern football, and what did that do for the NFL as all of those guys get baked into this rivalry and they all go to the league?
Yep, no doubt.
It's a big deal. And so, like, I look at Ohio State versus Michigan yearly. You know, that's always a thing. But like these big time rivalries, when you get them back to back years, it does resonate. I want to go back to Iowa for just a second. O'Grady, the big center, was banging underneath with Angel Reese. And then I forget what the other girl's name was. She kept having left-handed layup after left-handed layup. The way she was moving without the ball, I don't know if it was Murphy or whatnot. Iowa's team was moving without the ball, catch and shoot, the ambidextrousness around the rim. I was very impressed with the team aspect.
You may be talking about
90.
Yeah, you might be talking about Martin there. It was
Is it Martin? Okay, Martin was playing her butt off.
They all, I mean, they run up and down.
4 girls played the whole game.
Well, you had 3 girls played. 2 girls played 40 minutes.
Okay.
One girl played 39. The other played 37. The other one played 21. And that was due to foul trouble there. LSU, you had Angel Reese 36 minutes. Morrow 40 minutes. Flau'jae Johnson 37 minutes. Van Lith, who was sick, needed IVs. How about that? You need IVs. You're a bit sick. And it's like, go card Caitlin Clark one-on-one on an island. Poor girl.
And then initiate offense.
And then initiate offense on the other side.
Because that's the other part. Like, I felt like they were doing way too much.
Do better, man. You got to do better. She just left her out there on the island.
And Van Lith is a very good player.
She's a very good player. I feel so bad for her because, you know, Twitter's going to Twitter or X, whatever's going to X.
But that's part of sports.
That's part of sports.
That's part of the modern sports. It's the unintended consequences of when the Q rating of the entire sport goes up, you're going to become a meme.
Mm-hmm. No doubt. Paige Beckers was player of the year her freshman year. And she did have that big-time injury, but she's back. She's back in full effect, and she is balling. She is hooping, man.
I know.
I think the Stars.
I don't like Gino.
Stars. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I can tell you don't like Gino, but I do have a respect for Gino.
No doubt.
To continue, like, with all these coaches now with higher profiles, with Kim Mulkey and Don Staley, you got the UCLA coach, you got everything. Lindsey Gottlieb, who formerly in Cal, now at USC. And you got Gino there with the gray hair. They were just showing Rebecca Lobo winning her first national championship at UConn back in 1995. And I remember that game. I watched that game. It was on CBS. They played Tennessee. It was always on, usually on a Sunday morning back in the day. Because I remember when North Carolina beat Louisiana Tech at the buzzer with a 3. Anyway, to see him still doing it with the gray hair, I do appreciate him. Like, I hated Coach K for the longest time. Then over the last 5 years, I said, you know what, man? This guy's been doing it for so long. There's something that he's doing. There's a reason why he's so good. And parents still sending their kids there. And then when they came out to the West Coast, I was like, all right, I'm all about Coach K. We got to see his last win here in San Francisco. But Gino with the gray hair, and I know he's prickly at times.
No, he's got Saban-like whiner qualities.
But you know what
you've been winning for 30 years.
They all do, though, Shasky. He all whine and complain. He didn't lose a game for what felt like a decade, and he had top 3 picks year after year after year, and he's always complaining. That's all. That's just my particular opinion. They all complain. All these coaches complain.
I find him to be a tremendous whiner.
Brian Kelly complains. Saban complains.
Brian Kelly hasn't sniffed even like a tenth of the amount of winning as Gino.
Which is why he gets on my nerves with all the complaining he does. All these guys complain at the highest levels. They're always looking for an edge there. So
he makes a great villain.
Yeah, I mean, but he's kind of the OG now. He's like the grandpa now. You know what I'm saying? I respect the hell out of Gino, man.
I hear you.
I like Gino.
You know I got to find my enemies.
Yeah, I mean, you like everybody else.
I like to find my enemies. You know? Kim makes a great villain as well. I think watching her on the sideline, she's hilarious.
But Kim is out of her freaking mind.
Yeah, but that's part of but isn't that part of it?
Yeah, but no, she takes it to another level.
When Angel Reese gets called for the charge and she is losing her mind on the sidelines.
She takes it to another level because of some of the things
she's out of her mind.
Exactly. Like Gino ain't that crazy.
I appreciate her doing her best cosplay of the Masters champion yesterday in that green. Next Thursday, by the way.
She was actually tame yesterday. That outfit was tame.
Because they got thoroughly dismantled.
Well, it was a tie game at halftime.
In the second half, I thought Iowa's half-court offense picked them apart.
Well, no, what it was, too, is I think the pace got to LSU.
I totally agree.
It was 45-45. It was 45-45 at the half. Like, the first quarter was I was eating pizza with Baby Chance. Took her to go. The only way I could get out the house yesterday was go get some pizza and go to the cleaners and get ice cream. Just down the street to Round Table.
Oh, nice.
But no, we had got ice cream, and I went to the cleaners, pick up some stuff, and was like, we got to get out the house. It's a nice day, Chad. She just wanted to be in the house, whatever. But we're locked in on that first quarter. I was like, did I just watch that? Like they came out. It was like tip off, boom, go.
I know.
And I was just like, so I think the pace really got to LSU there. You could see their shots were short. They couldn't get any lift on those shots. And they just got worn down, man. That's a tough pace to play. How's UConn going to deal with that pace? I have no idea.
I don't know. But Caitlin Clark wasn't even winded at all. I mean, she looked like she could play a whole nother game.
No, she's used to that.
I couldn't believe it.
She's used to that, man. Like the third quarter was it. 24-13. Caitlin Clark, she had to move where she's just kind of lollygagging at the top of the key.
The back,
she went around the back, goes it in, just nails it.
Step back three in the fourth.
I was like, damn. All right, Caitlin, you're clout.
She took a logo shot, though, and
some chill.
They were up, I don't know, I think 12, and I'm saying to myself, I don't love that shot. And it had a huge Steph Curry feel to it, where it's like, I get it, you're cooking, but like, can we bleed a little clock here and get a better shot?
Right. But I'm happy, though. I'm truly happy, because honestly, there's no cap here. Grandma Essie, shout out to Grandma Essie. I should be at her house. And we watched all the NCAA Women's Championship games. Going back when Stafford was going to Charlotte, North Carolina, lost to some young girl named Sadia Roundtree. I could never forget the name from Georgia. She did Tennessee. Remember they had the Tennessee documentary with Pat Summit. She's yelling at these kids. These kids are crying. They figure out a way to win the championship, right? Shamika Holmes-Claude, Shamika Catchings, and Kara Lawson, who's now coaching at Duke University. I'm glad the women's game is getting their respect. I'm glad there's not, there's going to be some creeps and some dirtbags out there who's going to be misogynistic. I'm not going to watch a second of the women's. The women's game's been good for a long, long time. The skills, the shot-making ability, the pace of play. Like, the women's game, they get up and down. Like, City College San Francisco, for example, Jamie Hayes and now Derek Lau, they did a great thing. They still are seeking that state championship, but they've played with a great pace for so long. I'm glad it's finally getting the appreciation and the names. There's no doubt now. The women's tournament, with the names that they have, is so much bigger than the men's tournament right now. It's not even funny. And you said it. Continuity is a big reason why.
And I also believe that, like, on some level, like, when the competition is through the roof, you get the best out of everyone, it becomes an entertaining product. Yep. I think, we talk about baseball. There's too many games. There's not a sense of urgency. But we love playoff baseball. But there's clearly way too many games. The NBA, what's one of the biggest knocks of the NBA? I don't know who's playing on a Tuesday. Load management. They don't care. There's 82 games. There's too many. You're watching that game yesterday, and just for a one-off, if that was the first time you ever tuned in, you're going to tune back in again.
Well, it's a tournament game, so.
No, I know, but that's what makes it unique.
Yeah, no doubt. But
and the one-and-done nature.
Yeah, but you can't just get rid of the regular season. Like, you got to have regular season.
No, but I'm saying
games.
the build-up is there, and so it'll lure you in.
Yeah, I hear you. Rocco's texting us, man. Said he was locked in, and Lake sat down and watched for sure. Once she locked in, she didn't move. That's impressive. I think a lot of people were like that yesterday. Once you locked in, you did not move. And, like, all weekend long, even the Elite Eight games, the Sweet 16 games, I was like wooing like I do for an NBA game. Oh, what a shot. How did she do that? What the hell? Like, the gall that so many of these girls are taking, man, these shots, man, is unbelievable.
I liked Ryan Rucco on the broadcast. He has grown on me a lot.
Oh, he's been doing this for a long time.
His name
Ryan Rucco. Yeah, Ryan, we've had him on the show.
He's grown on me. I really like him as a broadcaster.
Maybe we should get Ryan Rucco on the show Friday.
He was good.
Hey, really love to see if we can get Ryan Rucco on the show Friday, man. The Final Four is in Cleveland, Ohio. Maybe we'll get Ryan Rucco on just to talk about the game. And
they're talking about pressure. I don't know if you were that tapped into it, but they're talking about pressure and expectations and all this stuff. And just listening to Caitlin Clark, talk to the analysts prior to the game about pressure and how she deals with pressure. And it was just really interesting.
Yeah, she was like, I take it a game at a time.